Youth League spokesperson Zama Khanyase joins me now. Zama, appreciate your time. Thanks for speaking to us this afternoon. I suppose, first off, allow us to offer our sincerest condolences on this untimely passing.
Good day, Hugo. It's been a very difficult morning, I must say. I think all members of the ANC, the ANC Women's League, are all just shocked at what has just transpired because, as the spokesperson of the ANC has just mentioned, we knew the deputy president of the Women's League, Lungi, to be always in high spirits. So we were still looking forward to so much more from her. So it's really, really a bad morning as we reflect on her life and just her contribution to the struggle to emancipate all the people of South Africa from the difficult times, times of violence in KZN, where she was part of the peace committees. She had been given that responsibility because the people of her community knew that if she's part of that process, then she's going to ensure that the peace that was wanted so much would be brought about. Her years in the UDF, in the Natal Organization of Women, and ultimately her participation in Parliament, serving in different committees, even as chairperson. These are all her different roles that she played. And in those roles ensured that she looks into the issue of emancipation of women, the protection of rights of women, the protection of the vulnerable members of our society, children, women, people living with disabilities. These are all the things that, the values that she fought for because she believed that everyone needed to live in a peaceful South Africa. We really do want to send our deepest condolences to the Mnganga-Gcabashe family, her children, her immediate family, friends, comrades, and all those who knew her and were touched by her in some way. As the ANC Youth League, we really do wish to send our deepest condolences.
Zama, as we continue to reflect on this untimely passing, let's touch on the role that she played in particularly the mentorship of young women, yourself, I'd imagine, included. How significant a role did she play, maybe personally for you, but also in the lives of young women in the ANC?
You know, it's very important because it's always a marvel when you are able to listen to someone who tells you how they made sure that they fight for the inclusion of women during unfavorable times where everything was difficult in the country. At least now, we do have a right to speak. Back then, women were not even included sometimes in these spaces. And having her to be one of those who could share where we come from and how it is possible for us to continue to fight for more, to make sure that whatever it is that we envision to be a South Africa that is going to be peaceful, that is going to be inclusive, that is going to look into the issue of representation, that women, young women as well, are part of the space. It was very important for us. She was so loving, she was gentle, she was a great listener, and made time basically for things such as these, as mentoring young women and mentoring women in general, because it's always important that those who have done it give us a sense of strength to say you can also do it as well.
So one would imagine that the baton in many ways has been passed on to younger women such as yourselves. How are you challenged to certainly emulate Mamlungi and the work that she did?
Well, as the ANC Youth League, as the young women in the ANC Youth League, one of the first things or the top things in our agenda has always been the issue of representation. And you'd know that currently the ANC Youth League has the first deputy president in the history of the ANC Youth League, Mnganga, who is now also a deputy minister in a ministry that before a young person, never mind a woman, would never be imagined to be able to serve in that space. So those are the things that we are working on currently. But also we just want to also go down to our young girls. You know, there are issues currently, the issue of teenage pregnancy, it's at its peak. social ills that affect all young people, but it's even worse for young girls because the stats tell you so. When you look at how young girls are the ones that are mostly infected with HIV and AIDS, it tells you something about how they are vulnerable in our society and how they are preyed on.
This conversation that we're having with the ANC Youth League spokesperson, Zama Khanyase. Zama, thanks again for holding on. We are talking about the untimely passing of Lungi Mnganga-Gcabashe and discussing her legacy. You were talking to us certainly about some aspects to her life that have motivated young women such as yourself in the ANC.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're just spoken about how we need to invest more on young girls in honor of Gcabashe, but also just also ensuring that they continue to enter into institutions of higher learning, so they go on to become whatever it is that they wish to be. Because young women need to know that in this new South Africa, they can be whoever they want to be as long as they stay in school, and it is upon us to make sure that we inspire them, just like how Mam Lungi has been inspiring us as those who were closer to the space. So we are going to push forward all of these programs in honor of her name.
Fantastic. Now, the one issue that's obviously been high on the agenda is the issue around gender-based violence. In fact, President Ramaphosa 2 or 3 years ago declared it a second pandemic. I think that's what he called it, likening it to COVID-19. Just how much has been done or can be done, particularly in memory of Lungi Mnganga-Gcabashe's legacy, to align to the hopes and aspirations of women, particularly where GBV is concerned?
Well, it's at its highest peak. It's a serious problem in our country, and I think that our justice system is the only hope that we have at this point, because I think we have so many policing forums now in our communities. Everyone is on high alert, but what we are forgetting is the fact that nowadays it's not only people we don't know who are a danger to us, but it's immediate family members. When you think you're at home safe, that's where your uncle, your father, or your older brother is going to rape your little sister. That's where your husband or your partner is going to attack you and kill you at the comforts of your home. So that's why I'm saying now our hope is in the justice system, in terms of making sure that they give out harsher sentencing, in terms of handling of cases, because sometimes many cases remain unresolved or take long to be resolved. So I think if there can be more emphasis on that, because some of the people who are perpetrators, they are repeat offenders. It's people that are out of the system, and you think that they were rehabilitated, but they go on to continue to be a danger to society. So I really think that our justice system is our last hope. Obviously, also the work of SAPS and making women know that they are safe, and making women know that if you report the case, something is going to happen, because many women have given hope. I've given up hope that even if I report, nothing is going to happen. There are some people who are untouchable in our communities, and these are the realities that we live in. Ours is to continue to advocate. It's not to get silent, not to get tired, because if we get tired and we don't continue speaking out against these things, that's when perpetrators continue to do these things, knowing that nothing is going to happen to them.
Zama Khanyase, ANC Youth League spokesperson. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us.